You thought I was done. You didn't know there's a $20 charge to exit this, even though the show was free. But I want to give you the important news tonight. My name is actually Rob Alvey. And as you can tell from my accent, I'm clearly born and raised in New York City. In fact, my mama and big sister were born in Brooklyn. And I was actually, in real life, lived on Long Island, not Long Island, where I had a wife, 3 daughters. And I was a scientist and chief geologist for the region's Federal United States Environmental Protection Agency Superfund Division. So I was responsible for keeping you guys safe and your drinking water safe. And spent a lot of time cleaning up and figuring out where contamination had spread in the groundwater. And another reason why I drink whiskey, not water. And then about 10, 12 years ago, when my one daughter came back from college as a photography major, he said, "Daddy, I want you to sit down. I gotta have you model for me. I got an assignment that's due." So she got out a camera and sat me on a chair, and she fluffed out my hair a little bit, combed it back, put me on a sweater, gave me a pipe, held up my physics book, and she took a picture, and it went click. And it was Albert Einstein to the table. I went, that's good. And she said, "Oh, Dad, I'm not done yet." She did another one, curly hair a little bit, gave me another day, had me hold up a book, Cat's Cradle. Staying like this, click, Kurt Vonnegut. And I went, holy cow, it doesn't look anything like Albert Einstein. You're a talented young lady. His dad, I need another one. Oh, take this, I get the sweater off, do this. Oh, put on a tie, blah, blah, blah. Hold up the book, Huckleberry Finn. And I held up and it went click. And there was there was Tom Sawyer standing in front of me. And I went, wow, I can do something with that. So I decided, I was running a nonprofit at the time, and I decided I rented a hall, and I'm going to do a Holbrook's play.
Oh, yeah.
Mark Twain Tonight. That's easy. I've done community theater when I was younger. It was easy enough. I get the script. We rented the hall. We started selling tickets. I go down on a business trip with the government down to Philadelphia. Lordy, right in front of a window of an Army Navy store, I see a whole row of white suits for $69.99. There is a God. I bought one, brought it back with me, and then I go to get the script, and then they told me there is no script. Al Holbrook memorized 50 hours of material and spent decades researching Mark Twain. And I went, oh. So I had to make up a script. And I had started doing research on Mark Twain. And the more research I started doing, the coarser my voice became. And my brain cells just turned white and started oozing out of my skull and giving this coarse growing gray hair. And my mustache got longer. And I developed a propensity for cigars and whiskey. And I realized I had a medical affliction. It's called Twainitis Syndrome. Now, it's not dangerous or anything, And the first, as a scientist, I did some research. The first known victim of Twainitis Syndrome was a young man named Samuel Clemens. Oh, and he only got the white suit after he turned 65. But the old photographer chose him in his classic white suit. And then the next victim of Twainitis Syndrome was another man named Hal Holbrook. And he has had Twainitis Syndrome for longer than Samuel Clemens did. 60 years he's been doing that. He only retired 2 years ago because he went deaf and he couldn't hear audience reaction. He's 94. God bless him. So I'm another victim of Twainitis. I started doing performances, and that one went off well. We made some money for the nonprofit, and then somebody else asked me to do it. There was an opera company that needed some funds on Broadway, and an EPA lawyer asked me if I could do that, and I couldn't say no, because she was holding my briefs. My legal papers. And that went over well. And then there was a guy that I knew was a professor from Stony Brook University, and I didn't know he was coming into Manhattan to see me. It turned out he was a fan of the opera company. So little by little, I started doing more. And then one of my part-time jobs was I taught geology at a place called York College, part of the City University of New York system in Queens. And I would drive there in the morning, park my car in the parking lot, take the train into York, work for the EPA, take the train back to Jamaica, get off, go teach for 3 or 4 hours, and then take the car and go home and grade homework. But it kept me fun. And then one of the professors said, Rob, you know, you could probably apply for a grant from York. It's for the adjuncts. I went, all right, so I wrote out something, do this, and I submitted it, and the next thing I know, I got notified of a full grant to fly out to Reno, Nevada, and spend 2 weeks in Virginia City, Carson City, the Sierra, and study Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens' failed career as a geology mining prospector, including even a visit to Homestake Mines out in there, which was the mother lode of silver. And my wife came with me, because she didn't trust me to fly alone, because she was wearing my white suit, drinking whiskey all the time. And my daughters came with me, and I had another daughter out there, and we had met another Mark Twain impersonator. And we have become lifelong friends. In fact, we split the country between us. He's got the western half, and I got the eastern half. And he's a good guy. So we did that, and but the people, the other professors at York College went, how in the world I tried grants for 7 years, and they never get passed. You do one, and you got it right away. And I said, well, I just studied Mark Twain, and I write great fiction. So it worked out good. When I got back, I got in touch, and they had me do a performance at your college with my white suit. Now, I was in the physics and geology department, earth science department, and all in the hallway they had a lot of pictures of Albert Einstein. And a few months later, I noticed somebody had ripped down a couple of pictures of Albert Einstein and plastered up pictures of me as Mark Twain along the wall. And I said, well, if I ever run out of Mark Twain material, I'm going to start doing another one on the physics of Albert Einstein. It's too much science and just too much work. I don't want to do it. So we've had some fun. I've gone out to Kansas City, as Mark introduced us in Mississippi riverboats, Lake Tahoe riverboats, New York, and then recently I came back from my 50th high school reunion in Garden City, New York. And on the agenda for the reunion the day before, did a performance at the Senior Center of Mark Twain.
Cool.
And more people came than I thought they would, because I said, are they really just curious? And they said, no, they couldn't believe I was going to do this. They said, remember, there's a quiet little scientist who was singing in the concert choir a little bit. I said, Yeah, well, drugs in the 60s, got an effect there. But no, it worked out fine, and when I was done with that, one of my wife and my friends came up, and she gave me a pin of a frog, which I was very touched by, because that's, to me, the jumping frog of Calaveras County, the first book that Mark Twain printed. And then another lady came up to me, and I hadn't seen her for 50 years, and she goes, "Do you remember me?" And I went, "Oh yeah, Julia." And we talked for a few minutes. She didn't even go to the reunion, but she lived locally, heard I was going to do Mark Twain, and she just came in for that. We talked and we chatted, and she reminded me of playing tennis with her 55 years ago, and what a clown I was. And unfortunately, the epiphany went off. It brought back all the memories, and I said, "Julia, you had the most beautiful voice." And I thought you went to France and we're going to do a career in singing. She said, "No, I came back a year later." I said, "But I never knew that 50 years later." She had gotten married, and like so many people our age, she's widowed and has a stepson who lives nearby. And I said, "Well, God bless you. Continue singing. Get back to it." Works out fine. Now, I'm going to stop here. There are some cookies in the back, although I noticed some people run up and get it. And also my experiences as Mark Twain are copied in a book called Catching Twainitis Syndrome. It's for sale tonight for $15. Susie is my wife. Raise your hand again. She's back there. She can take your money. I'll be happy to see her take it. I'll never see it, but that's okay. And also, if you want a photograph of Mark Twain, do that. And the reason I do this, Samuel Clemens died in 1910, but Mark Twain will live forever.
Yes.